Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Grossbull and welcome to the JesseAF Show. Today is Tuesday, March 26th, 2019, episode 44 of my daily podcast. Yeah, that's right, daily. That means every single day I'll be posting a new episode. So please, check in tomorrow for my next episode. I'm on Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube. So if you have any of those platforms, please consider subscribing. That way you get notifications for whenever I post a new episode. So today I'm going to be talking about EQ. EQ is so important to have. EQ is just as important to have as IQ. And EQ goes into different ways of being empathetic, understanding others, and understanding relationships and problem solving at the emotional level and almost the physical level too. If you think about it, it kind of merges all together somewhere in the middle. And then also negativity, and really being in control of negativity, because negativity is something that really controls our lives, and it's really bad. Self-awareness is also very important with EQ. Self-awareness is one of the biggest things that's a part of EQ. You have to be self-aware to be emotionally intelligent. You have to be self-aware to understand what people are going through. You have to be self-aware to understand what to say. You also have to be self-motivational. And self-motivational is EQ. EQ is a lot of different things. And it's so important. Growing up, I had a very emotional, supportive network. And when you have an emotionally supportive household, the children, they really grow and they prosper. And when you have IQ from an early age in life, you will do great things. You will be able to understand problems and understand them on different levels. And it's really cool because my whole entire life, I've been able to talk to anybody, about their problems. People come to me for their problems. And it's actually really strange because I have this magnetic attraction to people with problems, and people that have problems come to me and they talk to me about their problems. And I really enjoy talking to them about their problems. And I enjoy trying to understand their problems and really get down to that type of mechanic with them. And it's like, so what's going on? What's on both sides? That person has to be dealing with some stuff too. It's not just you. They have problems too. So it really goes into the whole idea of being self-aware. And when you are self-aware, you are able to understand yourself and why you do different things and how you started doing different things. And that's very important. When you understand why you do certain things and how you started doing those certain things, it really does play into your EQ. Because when you are able to understand yourself on that level of a scientific or deep level of just understanding where you came from and where people come from, you will be able to be a lot more intelligent. And EQ is just as important as IQ. I'm being serious. It's so important, and a lot of people don't recognize that. A lot of people just look at IQ as the most important thing. But at the same time, it's also EQ. EQ is huge. It's absolutely massive, and it's so important to have. And it's really, really crazy. Because when you are living your everyday life and you kind of wake up in the morning and you're happy, negative thoughts kind of seep their way in, and you have to find those negative thoughts and you kind of have to work them out. You have to figure out what's going on, why you're having those negative thoughts, and you have to really figure those things out. And when you have EQ, or that ability to understand yourself, you will be able to find those problems and you will be able to conquer them. And that goes into relationships too. I've always had strong, long time relationships with people, whether it's boyfriend girlfriend kind of thing or just friendships. And my group of friends I have now, my really close group of friends, we all are so empathetic towards each other, and we understand what we're going through. And we talk a lot about all those problems that we're going through. And we kind of like balance. We balance off of each other. And it's like, it's amazing. It's so perfect to be in that kind of relationship with a group of people that are sharing in common interests, sharing in common ways of doing things. And it's really important to be in a high EQ and IQ environment, because that way you grow. That way you learn. That way you evolve. And I talk about self-awareness a lot in my podcast, because I believe I am incredibly self-aware to a level where a lot of people aren't. And self-awareness goes into dreaming. It goes into just living every day, learning different things. I understand that I can teach myself whatever I need to know whenever in my life. And being able to understand that is so important, because that means that you have no way of saying you can't do something. And it's really big. It's really, really important. And empathy. Empathy is that ability to understand others and what they're going through. And if someone's really going through a bad time, you'll be able to understand them, and you'll also be able to understand the people that they're managing their time with. If they are in a bad relationship where someone's really being emotionally abusive towards them, you can really look at both sides of it and say, well, the other person has to be going through a lot of problems too, personally, if they're going to be treating you like crap. And I look at Facebook comments, I look at Instagram comments, I look at everything. And when people are negative, those people are hurting somehow. They're being judged somehow. And you have to look at that. If you get a bad negative comment, or just a negative comment in general, that person is going through something too. And if their negativity gets to you, you're just going to kind of bring that whole system into play. And you'll just be negative towards someone else. And then that person will be negative towards someone else until it hits someone that is so happy that the negativity bounces back. And the happy person actually either makes you happier, or they just kind of make you more upset with yourself. And you can be happy as much as you can be, but you have to also be understanding. So what I mean by that is people go through a lot. Whether it's at work, whether there's big news that just happened and everyone at work is taking in the news, and you're just really, really happy for some weird self-image kind of problem, and you're just incredibly happy in general, and you're really making everyone hate you because you're all happy about this bad situation that just happened. And you have to take a step back, and you have to be like, I care. I do. But this is what's keeping me sane. This is what's keeping me happy. And you have to understand that. You have to understand that you have those limits. You have to understand that people have problems with happy and positivity. And you have to understand that you cannot help everyone in the world, because I've had that problem too. I've had the problem of wanting to help everyone with all their problems, and I can't. I really can't. And if I try, I would be drained. Because EQ is like a muscle. You have to be happy all the time. Yeah, for yourself. But when you're facing negative things all the time, your EQ will go down. And it goes down throughout the day. It goes down throughout the week. until you get enough happiness to really be able to push past that negativity. And being someone that is full of EQ like me, high in EQ, I have a lot of empathy and I have a lot of happiness, but I also have a lot of understanding. So I look at both sides of everything. I look at both sides of the bad and the good. Whether it's a very bad event in our society or this or that, I look at everything on both sides, and a lot of people kind of get mad at me sometimes for doing that because I'm giving other people justification for doing those bad things. But at the same time, to be able to do that, it requires a high EQ. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. I know I did, and I know I'm probably going to be talking about EQ more often in my future podcasts, just because I always talk about EQ. EQ is a big part of my life, and when you look past EQ and you're like, it's all about brain, you have to be smart, you have to be able to do math, and all that stuff, you kind of lose the connection. And when you lose connection, you start losing your human being. Your being of human. I guess that made sense. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.